Hello, Aditya. Cool stuff. Thank you, bro. Did you know what I'm doing currently? And by the way, welcome to the stream. Yeah, file manager. Uh, are you a neovim user or the plain VS Code? I have switched back to Vim from neovim. Why? Um, I think Vim is not that extensible in comparison to the neovim. Oh, the minimalistic approach. Yeah, that makes sense. I think the productivity is great in minimalistic designs. Well, you can also access the terminal from neovim also. I think neovim is just a fork of Vim, so it has all the functionality of Vim, I guess. On top of that, you have a lower runtime, which makes it more extensible than Vim script, but it's for personal preferences. So if you like minimal design, then Vim is a great choice, I guess. And by the way, how many peoples are watching? So first of all, I want to thank you all of the people who give this much love to this plugin. I mean, 107 stars. That's insane. I never expect that much of a love from you guys. Uh, that's such a great thing, I think. These things motivate me to make this plugin even further and enhance the extensibility and code maintainability for the contributors. Yeah, totally agreed. Customization is more in neovim. Also, I have recently joined a firm which has deployed its server on Red Hat, and Vim is the default editor. Yeah, Vim is default editor in so many scenarios. Like macOS also have the editor as Vim by default. And there are so many things like Git commits. Currently, I'm just retransforming the plugin architecture. Currently, this plugin uses a simple tree structure. Hi, what promoted you to make new file manager plugin compared to existing plugins? I think that's a straightforward answer. Like the best file manager, in my opinion, is the oil and vim, as you might know already. The main inspiration is from oil and vim, but you all know that this plugin is not support the file tree view. File tree view is I think one of the best directory view, which helps a developer to analyze the whole structure of the code base. Like, for example, if we take a look on Next.js project, Next.js project has so many directory specific things like routings and so many things. But if the code base is bigger and bigger, the directory overview is limited in oil and vim. Like if you can see only the directory level view, that it's not enough to get the full overview of the code base. A tree view tree view also helps the full structure of the code base, and makes you better analyze the situation, like underlying concepts that the code base is using. I think, in my opinion, file tree view is more reliable and more accurate. You don't have to jump so many directories to go to the specific file. Like if I have to go deep down into a directory, I have to enter so many times on a directory, and I have to remember those paths where that file lives. So I think file tree view is much better than the directory view. That's why I create this plugin, which has all the functionality of oil and vim, like buffer editing, and on top of that we have a tree view. Are you planning on previewing the buffer from oil and vim in an external program like that? Not sure about that right now. Currently, I just want to implement some basic functionalities. Like you can see, I list down some to-dos which I want to implement. Currently, I'm just modularizing the code base so that contributors don't have any problems on understanding the underlying concept, right? So that everyone can contribute to this code base easily. Like currently, this code base is not that great because I'm kind of uh, fresher in the sense of neovim plugin development. I just made one plugin before the filer.nvim. So I don't have that much experience of plugin creation and maintaining the code for contributors. So, I never uh, create a repository like everyone is going to contribute to it. So I don't have the correct architecture and styling of code bases. So I have to maintain this code base so that if anyone contribute to this project, they don't have to go around for the uh, basic concepts or underlying classes and any kind of structure. Uh, they can just read the code base, and everything should be crystal clear in the code base. So I'm gonna modularizing everything. Previously, I'm using text class to render the text, uh, but I think that class is not enough for the current use. I used this class. Let me show you one thing. Cool. Can you provide a brief demo on your plugin right now? I have to change the branch for that, I guess. But yeah, I can show you. Let me give me just a minute. So if I go to filer.nvim, I have to change it from the directory to filer.nvim. So let's install that. Let's go to some kind of a big project. I have a project. So let me just move this chat box to here so that we can see the filer in action. So the command is quite a customizable on startup. Like you can provide the what you can say, the current working directory, so that filer can shift its root node to the directory you want. I mean, according to your desire. So let's just not provide that. Just fire the command, and this will pop up a file manager like here. And this is a complete buffer. You can see here. This is the buffer. You can edit that. And most important thing, when I press enter on any of the nodes, like nodes in the sense, any kind of file system item, like it could be a directory, it could be a symlink, or it could be a file. And you can see this is the same kind of structure like you can see here, this is the neo tree, and this is the filer env. But on top of that, you can add multiple things in this repository. I don't want to mess around this project, so I'm gonna go on a test directory for if I'm delete some files, so it could be a nightmare for me. So let's see if I want to add some things like example 1.lua or ts maybe, and I copy so many times and press 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? And if I press and if I save this buffer, you can see it will create those files. And if I press yes, you can see the buffer is updated and all the files are created. On top of that, you can just change the position. Does changing indentation in the tree view move the file in and out? Yes, this is exactly this plugin works under the hood. So if I just move this directory, I mean, if I move this file to here and change the indentation to one level up and I press save, you can see, let me just move it here. You can see there is a move operation in the queue for moving this example.5.ts to the one directory up. And if I press yes, you can see the file is now renamed to a new location. Bro, that's so cool. Yeah, that's kind of a point of this plugin. And one more thing that you can rename also. This is also count as a rename. Rename is also count as a move operation. So let's say instead of example, I want to go with the helper helper.ts, and you can see there's a move operation from example 5ts to helper.ts. So this is the functioning of this project. And anyways, you can delete stuff like clearing this thing. You can see all the files could be deleted, but I don't want to delete them, so I want to discard the thing. So that's the explanation of filer. Currently, I'm just changing the code base architecture so that everyone is the contribution could be easy. So looks like I will have to move back to neovim just because of this plugin. Yeah, but there is a catch. You can see I added a warning in the GitHub repository. Like you can see here, this plugin is still under development. So this plugin could create some issues. So I want to display this message because if something went wrong on doing some file operations, that I don't get the blame, because there are a lot of testing that is needed before I make the first release of this plugin. I didn't release anything. You can see there are no release of this plugin right now, but people are really enjoying this plugin in this alpha stage. This plugin is not is in the alpha stage, I guess. Yes, okay. So this plugin is in alpha stage and still got the 107 stars. So people are really like this tree view structure, which has all the abilities of oil and vim. And I really want that, really want this kind of plugin, but no one is doing doing something about this scenario. I mean, no one just what to say. No one is interested on this making this functionality. I mean, I never seen this kind of plugin anywhere in the GitHub or Reddit's. So I have to forcefully make my own one. So that's why this is the whole motto of creating this plugin. I hope you like this plugin, guys, but be sure to read this readme. I mean this warning. Be careful while using this plugin because it's not stable. I mean, it's working fine, but there could be edge cases like where this plugin could fail and pop up some errors, or might be some wrong operation, like some unleading operations. So be careful, guys. It's not in stable form right now. Okay, so let's moving on to the UI part. My voice could be uh, a little, what to say, little noisy because of my cough. I'm not feeling well right now. It's kind of a viral thing. So, anyways, hmm. So we have to uh, add some lines in which we have words. Hmm. Currently in my mind, there are so many things going on at the same time for this UI class. But I'm gonna start with the simple one, and then I will jump on to the more complex implementation of UI, because I don't want to start with the complex one. I'm gonna go start with the simple one, and we implement the feature on top of that as we needed. So, so that's just the render thing. All right. So we need so many things. And by the way, the code architecture that I'm following, like the the code architecture, like the extensibility, the stylings, kind of a styling of a code base, I'm using the NeoGit. I mean, NeoGit has a really polished code base. You can see everything is well maintained and well structured in this code base repo. So I'm borrowing so many things from it, like how to structure your code base for open source project. So if anyone interested about this structure, you can follow the NeoGit repository for better understanding. So anyways, um, where I'm at, there could be UI. And I have to constantly look on the issues section. If someone raise the issues, well, there is only one issue, and it's not that issue, it's just the suggestion, like what should be there. And this issue literally convinced me to change the code base architecture for more reliable and extensible future of this plugin. So this is the init file for the UI, and every UI has a buffer. Okay, got it. Yeah, that makes sense. We don't need options actually. We just need a buffer. So params buff, but it's not buff in our case, it's win in our case. So we are implementing the window first rule, and they are using the buffer first rule. So it's kind of a difference, but we will manage that accordingly. So filer win. This could be a filer win, which holds all the necessary information about the window. So if I now we have window, right? So let's just win filer win. And by the way, if anyone of you that are watching stream right now, if anyone want to contribute to this plugin and want some answers want some answers about anything in the code base, you can ask me right now. Not a problem. I can explain everything because I really need help to make this plugin in the real form. Like this plugin is almost about 20% of this full potential, but the rest of the 80% I have to implement it. So I need help. There are so many things that I have to build by myself. Anyways, so they are render function, and I guess they are also using the render thing. I don't want to need that complex thing, so I'm gonna render it right away. First, I'm gonna check the uh, modifiability. So was modifiable was modifiable is equals to vim.bo. Well, this is one more thing that if hmm, I have to wrap in this function. Wait a minute. Let's ask the DeepSeek. Schedule. Ah, man, I don't want to do that. Yeah, well, anyways, so this will be the actual implementation, and we can create an umbrella method which hold vim dot schedule vim dot schedule function um, and self render, something like that. And we have to do this thing because we will perform so many asynchronous tasks by the neovim livuv library. So we have to wrap this render function into this schedule function so that our there will be no race conditions, like about the race conditions. This is just to avoid any race conditions which could happen while rendering some text into the window. So anyways, let's just test was modifiable. But if self.buff self.win is has valid buffer, let's say not, then we quit the early. Then we quit early. And if it is has a valid buffer, then we will do vim.bo sub.win.buckner modifiable was modifiable, something like that. So this will gives us the modifiability of the buffer. Like if the buffer is not modifiable, so we have to make it modifiable and then restore the property of the modifiability of the buffer. So that's the whole point. So at the end, if was modifiable, then vim Then vim dot vo self win dot partner is equals to true, I guess. Sorry, this will be modifiable. Perfect. So this is the whole thing. Now I have to make the buffer modifiable. I think not so false. If it is if it is wasn't modifiable, then we have to disable the modifiability of the buffer. That's correct. Okay. Now we have to just render the lines in the window. All right. So we have to use lines, I guess. Buff lines. We have to create the buff lines. Then uh, for each of the line, I pairs self dot lines into end. So every line has some words, right? So we have to join them. Mm, buff lines. No, we have to traverse each of the word first. So pairs self dot words. No, self dot words. No, the what? Word unknown. That doesn't make any sense. Okay. That's the thing. There's a typo in the type annotation. So now the auto completion works here. So words. Now we go each of the word and insert them into the buff lines. Word dot string, and after every line we will add insert I guess I have to make a real line, I guess. The buff line, let's let's make this a string, and we have to concatenate every word string. So buff line equals to buff line and concatenate with the word dot str. So that makes sense, I guess. Let's add some comments because uh, for the contributor purpose. Okay, going through each line and then each word. Perfect. Check the modify to restore it later. To restore it after completion of render. That's kind of a point. Now I have to table dot insert buff lines, buff line, and then we can insert mm, dot.nvim dot step lines dot dot win dot map. If you go to starting, all right. So I think the render function is completed. Now we can easily set the lines here. Makes sense. So the only task is just to integrate this UI component into the uh, into the window, I guess. Every buffer, I mean every window should have a UI component, I guess, because it doesn't make any sense if any kind of window doesn't have any UI. Like if there is nothing to show in the window, then there is no point of creating the window. So let's add a UI thing, UI, and let's add it to filer UI. So that will be a necessary thing to have, and it will be passing through the user because it is a customizable thing. So we have to pass it instead of um, making uh, a default one. So this will be a filer UI. Perfect. Do you guys enjoy the ASMR streams like that? Like I am currently doing? Let me know. We can do these kind of streams more oftenly if you want. Is there anyone watching or not? So, okay. Very interesting. Enjoying it so far. Thank you, J Benny. And by the way, where are you from? Status in it. Okay, Philippines. Interesting. By the way, J Benny, sorry for my English if it broken anywhere, because English is not my first language, so it could be harder to uh, speak some of sentences. Like you have to think about those words and then you have to convert those to the English equivalent. Trying to learn Lua to make my own plugin as well. How did you start writing? It just I'm making my own, what to say. I rebuild my neovim configuration like about 50 times. Like I visit so many repositories like dot files repositories of some bigger creators like YouTube content. So that's why I have a little bit of understanding of how neovim works internally. And by the way, lua is a pretty simple language. Just start with a simple plugin, which, and by the way, always build something that you always use. Don't make something like even you will not use. So before making a plugin for other people's, just think about yourself. Like, will you use that plugin? Because if you don't, then don't expect from others. This is the kind of a um, mental approach that I follow. As you can see, everyone has some kind of a issue with file managers, like existing file managers of neovim. Like some have tree structure, but they don't have the buffer editability. And some have like oil when nvim doesn't support the file tree view. So there are some limitations that you oftenly face. And these are some things that you can consider while making your own plugin. So anyways, the buffer has this thing. Interesting. There's another UI here. Okay, this UI is different. I mean, this UI is a different thing. This UI is different, and the UI is using in the buffer.lua. This is different. This is the actual UI component, and that was the custom. Yeah, that was the custom renderer UI. Yeah, that makes sense. So we can use that thing. What are some of your most underrated NVIM plugins? Most underrated. My plugins or just the overall neovim underrated plugins? Because if you're talking about me, then my all plugins are kind of underrated. All-in-vim is nice, but I use Yazi in the terminal anyways. So using the Yazi plugin in near NVim makes most sense for me personally. Yeah, there's a third kind of a view. Like first one is the directory view, which is the oil and vim thing. Then there is a three window architecture like Yazi and like Ranger. I think also uses that structure. This is the second structure, and the last structure is that file tree view. I think uh, three window structure is quite good. I also use Yazi, you can see, but recently I discovered the SPF like Superfile, and it works so good in my opinion than Yazi, but has some limitations like it can't render the images. That's why I use both of them. So that's kind of a me. But yeah, Yazi is a good file manager for terminals. Anyways, so let's make R1. I want to add a UI here. This is the main UI thing, right? Okay, UI. Okay. Then what is that UI? Let's open this in the split and status UI.lua, I guess. Yeah, that works. So, okay, they are just defining the overall step by step. They are defining the components which will render, like this is the hint thing. Hint, okay, now I got it. Do you know, guys, what is hint? If I open the NeoGit, this is the hint part. So this is the one component they are, I mean, in their the approach they are using, they call those things like paragraphs component. This is one component, this is the other component, and this is the other component. So I think this is the hint component that we are seeing here. Like this is the hint component in, I guess. And you can see here, this is the toggle, stage, unstage. Yeah, toggle, stage, unstage, discard, commit, and help. Yeah, there are the same things here. So as you can see, if the code base is so clean that anyone can understand, it helps contributors a lot. Okay, this is the head thing. Perfect. So now I understand. Okay, perfect. Okay, okay, okay. They're using the UI library and the components. I wonder how the components work. Components. What is the need of components? I mean, they are appending a child. Okay. Hmm. Now I got it. They use the components because of these folds. I mean, you can toggle those things, I guess. Yeah. So every component has some foldability in itself. So you can see that's why they define components here. But we will not use folds. We will not use folds. So we don't need the component kind of thing. So wait a minute. Did I mess up something? Okay. Anyways, so let's just keep this concept aside. We don't need the component thing. I'm just thinking, why they use two different UIs instances? Like they are using one in the buffer and they then use in the view. I mean, why? Like this is the same thing. You can see the UI thing, and they still uses here. Like why? On both places, you can just merge those in same file. So here's just the render thing, and there are some more complicated things, I guess. So UI colon update. Hmm. Okay, I uh, don't need this complexity right now. So I can just use one instance of UI. I don't need two different instance, one for rendering and one for the describing the text. Okay, so we will just use the instance of UI in the options, and that will update everything. Hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. So we just have to assign the UI property here. UI uh, ops.ui. It's that simple. And I don't want a assertion for the UI because it is, I think it could be optional to provide the, to not to provide the UI, I guess. So let's make this optional. Let's make this optional because there are still some kind of windows like you just want them for the input purposes. You don't want to render anything in that window. You just want input from the user. So we can leave the UI for that. And we will just render the things here. So, okay, we can remove this thing. We don't need that. We just use render. No, not render, self.ui. If we have the UI, then self.ui slash render, I guess. Hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. Now we can go to the tree in it, tree, and in the tree, we don't need this render thing anymore. We just have to provide the UI component. UI is equals to UI. Let's import this thing. UI is equals to require filer UI. I guess so. UI.new, and we have to provide the window. Hmm. So sure, let's do that. So here's the instance of the UI. Yeah, but there is something. I have to add a UI.lua here because there's nothing to be rendered here. So let's define something like tabs. I want to implement some tabs actions. So anyone watching? So if there's someone watching, I want to ask that, guys, do you ever feel that you need some tabs in your file manager? Like one tab is pointing to a some directory, one is pointing to some directory, and another is you. I mean that kind of a functionality, which like I think Yazi also supports the tabs for pointing different directories in each tab. I think that could be a pretty useful feature in my opinion. So let's implement the tabs. tabs, or you can say tab line. Could be useful. I would use that. Okay. Yeah, I think that could be pretty useful because sometimes you don't want to hinder your whole environment. Like let's say you have open your uh, code base in such a way like this format, and when you open the new tree in a different directory, this whole information will be lost. So I want to give this I want to allow the user to have different workspaces so that user don't have to compromise with their you know uh, some kind of a state state of the file system, I guess. That could be useful. So anyways, let's implement the tab line, and tab line should be first let's import the UI here. UI filer UI. Okay. So we will just return the number of tab lines. So tab line needs tabs to render, right? Tabs should be lines. Tab should be a string of, I mean, array of string. I think that is enough because we just need the file path only. I don't need anything else. All right, so just UI. Let's create a new UI component. Not component. UI. Okay, let's just make a function. First, let's create a module here, and that module should return function.m dot what to say um, hmm, tree in my opinion, I guess. So this will give us the tree structure. Or we can just return the function. There is no need of module thing. We can just import, I mean, create a UI dot UI is equals to UI dot new, and we need a window here. Win, perfect. So there's a window. Let's type that filer win. Right. So we can in last they are just returning the whole table, I guess. So this is the list of things. Hmm. We still the same thing. We will break down every component in just a minute. Just let me just add some lines. So table dot insert. Oh, oops. insert UI dot lines, and we will add words. We will add a single line, and in the words we have just str. um, let's say hello YouTube, and the HL should be filer blank. Right. So that's it, I guess. Let's test this out. We can expand this further, but first we have to test it. So pre init. Now we have to, here is the UI. Let's require this filer tree UI, and we can pass the UI self dot win. I think that will work. Let's test this out, guys. So if I open the filer thing, okay, we got some problems. I have to quit the neovim. Let's see one more time. Let's read out the errors. Render a nil value. Uh, win.lua render. We don't need render anymore, so we can just skip that. Wow. Okay, let's just try one more time. 132. Render a nil value. But why? Oh, okay. Now I got it. Now I got it. Free UI. We have to return a UI component, but we are returning the UI. This is the UI. Does it has the UI? Wait a minute. UI.lua. We have the render function here. Why it's not working? Win.lua. Okay, let me just debug that thing. Okay, this is the whole thing. Uh-oh, I think closed. Okay, so everything looks, I think, okay. Words? Why we have words like that? Okay, Hmm. We can use add word, I guess. So we just have to insert in the table dot insert self dot lines, right? And in the line uh, dot lines in the last line. So in the last line, we will add a word like that. Yeah, that makes sense. And first of all, we have to do hl is equals to word dot hl or filer blank, something like that. And yeah, we can return the self thing. Yeah, okay. So let's just try that thing. UI in the tree. Instead of doing that, we can use simply add word, and the word should be uh, hello YouTube, and we don't have to pass the other thing. All right. Then in the tree, we have UI, and we are passing the UI here. We are just running this UI function, okay, and passing the window that we need. So I think we still have some problems. Win is required, but we pass it. We pass it already. 17. 3 UI. Yeah, I pass it already. Then why is the problem here? Hmm, that makes no sense. Did you guys notice any bugs that I left over? I'm not sure. Like, filer, it's a nil value. But why? I'm just passing it here, man. Tree UI, tree init. You can see here, I'm just passing the window. Then what could be the problem? Hmm. Okay, now I got it. The window is okay, okay. Geez, that's why they're using the render function. Now I know why they're using two different instances of UI. Yeah, that makes sense. Guys, the problem is just that we are assigning the window here on creating, and I'm just passing the self.win here. But At this point, win is nil because we are just assigning the value from this class. So currently, self.win is just a nil value. But if I write this here, like if I print here in this code, then this will not be a nil value. So we have to use the render function. Okay, I got it. So we have to use a buffer, no, win.lua, and we can use step.render if step. Okay, let's just do that thing here. Okay. All right. Then we can use UI. Let's require filer UI and UI.render self.ui. I guess that will work. This render function needs this thing. Okay, and this is the UI. So wait a minute. We have to specify we are returning a filer UI. Filer UI. Okay. This will return the UI. Okay. So let's pass the render function here. We will have the window handle, and we will just return the UI from the window handle. Annotation specify that at most 0 return value are required. Found one. 0 return value? But why? Wait a minute. This function is supposed to return a value. Let's put this here or maybe here. It's kind of annoying. Okay. So this function is not returning anything actually. But why? Okay, because we haven't changed it here. Okay. So filer UI. So this is the thing. Now this should go around. Okay. Now the error is gone. Let's try to do one more time. Okay. The window is open, but we have an error. Add word is a nil value. Hmm. Mm, tree UI. Add word is a nil value. Why? Yeah, add word is not there. But why? We just implement that thing. You can see here. We are we have this function, and we are setting up the meta table correctly. No, we are not setting it correctly. This is the problem. This is not the exact thing that we are doing. So I think this time it will work. Uh, okay, but nothing is rendering. Why? There are no errors. Wait a minute. Okay, because we don't have anything to render here. I have to uncomment that thing and save everything. And let's try to run. Oh man, why? This is supposed to work. Hmm. Are we just calling this function or not? Print buff lines. Let's try this. The lines are empty. Why? I just added the word. I just added this word, but it's not the correct implementation or something. I'm inserting in the lines. I'm going to the last line and insert a word here. Okay, I have to insert words like that. This is the correct version. Now this is supposed to work this time. Hello from YouTube. Boom, guys, boom. We overcomplicate our simple rendering mechanism to make our code base more modularized and readable. But yeah, we have some advantages now. Previously, our rendering mechanism is just the text, I guess. Uh, if anyone is new joining our stream, then welcome to the stream. I just have to say this. So there is a I mean, this is the whole file which is responsible for, I mean, rendering every single piece of text in our windows. And this is quite good. I'm not saying that bad, but uh, this has so many limitations. I mean, we have to perform some diffing algorithms. Like, is anyone in the chat knows about the React framework in JavaScript? If anyone knows, just leave a comment. I mean, just write in the chat. Anyone know? Anyone of you? All right. So first of all, we need to we need some tabs. We need some tabs. So let's make a tab line, tab line, tab line. Okay. Then we need a UI and we need tabs. Perfect. UI is just a filer UI, and the tabs should be an array of string. Perfect. All right. Hmm. Mm, I think we have to make it more complex because I want these type of functions which which will work like a component thing. Um, First of all, I think I have to how they use this thing. Okay, they provide a list. They provide a list to to that thing. Buffer status init. All right. We have a renderer thing. Render text. Hmm. All right. So I think we have to follow the same approach to build up our UI. So let's just delete this function for now, and we can use we have to make another file in the UI thing. I guess I have to create a UI folder and init.lua inside it and paste the every single line of code from here to init.lua and just delete that one. And we have to make a renderer.lua. Okay. I don't think so. Renderer is just a mechanism of rendering text, build child. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. We could have this renderer, but I think the renderer should be Hmm. Okay, now I got it. I don't want to implement the renderer here because renderer is just a specific thing for a window. So this is just as it is. So let's just here, let's delete this UI and just rename it to UI.lua. Perfect. So we are back to our original state and we just have to make a, we have to go to view and we have to make a renderer.lua, which will return the UI components for the UI text for the tree view. So we have to rename this to renderer.lua. So, okay, so that is good. Now we just have to, okay, so we have to make a new renderer. Mm, Okay, I think I have to, guys, I have to think about this, um, uh, this approach of rendering text. I mean, you can see here, we are successfully managed to render our text here. We can add colors to it, but I think for a tree view, I have to implement a tree structure. I think the first thing is striking to my mind is B tree implementation for this. B tree is a super efficient data structure which is used in especially it is used in the database management systems and the file managers like your Windows file manager and everything like that. So if you have a large amount of data which is connected to everyone and you need to perform some operations in the most efficient manner, then the B tree is the thing you have to choose, I think. So I think I have to implement a B tree implementation to get the tree view because if the uh, if the file tree gets bigger and bigger, then it is harder to, I mean, the rendering operations are kind of time consuming. So I have to use the B tree implementation to reduce the time complexity, I guess. And I have to, yeah, I have to implement the diffing, diffing algorithms also, because I have to compare the structure of buffer that the user added and the recent snapshot of uh, the file manager. Then we can compare the results where which operations we have to perform to synchronize from buffer to the file system, like move operation, create, and the delete operation. So okay, I have to think about this architecture, guys. I have to research something about like how to implement B tree for file systems. I think we can't do this in our current stream, but give me some time. We will, I mean, I will think about this architecture for B tree, and we will stream tomorrow with this new approach. So I think we have to end this stream because I'm kind of stuck right now. So guys, thank you for joining the stream. I think it's a this is the good time to end up the stream. If anyone have any kind of question, then you can ask. Otherwise, I'm ending the stream. So see ya, guys. We will meet tomorrow, same time, 9 o'clock. All right. So let's just pin out this window and let's make it here, and let's close this one so that chat will be visible here. Now I can end up the stream by here. So good night, guys. Take care. We will meet in the stream tomorrow.